Welcome back to the Blindside DIY. What are your basic tools that you need? You know, that's a really big question. What tools do you need to start out with? What tools do you need to start out with for woodworking? Well, you know what? Today we're going to go over that. Matter of fact, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a bit of my tools that I've collected over the years, and not just that. We're going to go to my favorite place, the Home Depot. The first thing I would definitely recommend is definitely getting gloves. Now what are these? These are actual outdoor professional grade working gloves. These are Trademaster firm grip gloves. They have the knuckles on the top, except for this is a soft foam, and on the inside they have a real nice rough, almost like a leather feeling to them. But what that does is when you're picking up something, it has grit, and it's not going to cause any damage to your hands. So I have these too. I've used this on a lot of wood and mechanical operations and applications, and these don't have any tears in them. I'm not going to come to the camera and show you, but these are great. I would suggest getting them. These were about 10 bucks. You can get these at the Home Depot. I would highly suggest it. Another thing I would suggest, and I'm going to jump in the middle of this, anytime you're doing something, there's two things I would suggest you're having is a tool belt. Whether you're doing DIY for an automotive application or you're doing it for a general DIY labor application like remodeling in the house. Nothing wrong with it. You can have a lot of things in here. I use this, period, for everything I do. I just use it. I keep a rag in here. This is a mechanic's rag, Scott. You know, you can get one, it's just a shop rag. But I love these things. You need to swipe, wipe sweat, any type of grease off, you got this here. I also carry in that same pouch a socket wrench. Just in case. If I can't find one, I have one on me. You never know what you might need it for. Also, I carry bits in here, different sizes, socket heads. That's an empty pouch. Usually I'll put nails, or if I'm taking bolts off of a car, I'll put bolts in there just so I know where they're at instead of laying them on the ground and getting lost. Or you can do what I did here before and get a bag, like a clear plastic sandwich bag, and put them in there and label where they came from so you know. Tape measure. Any project you do, automotive or woodworking or general DIY, you are going to need a tape measure. This one happens to be a 12-foot tape measure. It's Home Depot brand HDX. Great. I have another tape measure in here. It's a bigger one, longer, 25-foot. But either way, you'll need a tape measure. This is what's going to help you measure out what something is in length and cut it or splice it or whatever you need to do to size. I always carry this because you never know when you may need it. And I've learned over the years that more or less, I needed this. In this pouch, I keep gloves. More or less for automotive applications, because I don't want my hands to always get greasy or dirty, especially because I have kids and I have pets and I'm going inside out of the house. I don't want to get any of that material on me and transfer or possibly eat food after by accident. And now I'm getting sort of bacteria or nasty viruses into my system because I just wasn't wearing these. They're disposable, easy on, easy off. Trash them when you're done. Replace them in the pouch. Over here, there's just another empty pouch. It's a lot bigger. You can add any of these tools. That's fine. On the other side, it's kind of hard to see this, but there's a strap here. You can put a hammer in here and hang it. Here, you can put a screwdriver head. There's another smaller pocket you can put nails in. Same idea over here, except for these ones right here have a little hole through it. You can't really see it, but these have a hole through it, and you can put, and I usually use these for screwdrivers or flatheads, and I'll run them through there. So you can also use that for any smaller thing, because not just the hole, it does have a portion down here where you can still stick something in and hold it in place. So that's it for this tool belt. Now, before I jump into the rest of these, this is the other second thing I was talking about. Clamps. Whether you're working on automotive applications or woodworking, you will need clamps. Clamps will save your life. Tons of clamps are good for you. These are 2-inch spring clamps. They're Anvil from Home Depot. They cost 98 cents a piece. Okay? you'll find a whole bunch of pennies on the ground. You find a quarter on the ground like at Walmart, okay? Get some clamps. Okay, this is simple. Don't really need to explain this, but I'll pull it out anyways. It's a drill from Ryobi. I don't care if you don't like Ryobi. You know, it's just a preference of mine. They're cheaper, and it gets the job done. I don't need an expensive DeWalt piece. I just need something that's going to work. So in this case, just a basic drill. Rechargeable battery. I carry about two rechargeable batteries in there. One's always fully charged, which is the extra that's fully charged. And this one, I try to keep fully charged. If it's not, I charge it. In here as well, I have a box cutter, because you never know what you might need. Right now I have the blade for vinyl cutting in here. It's valuable. Valuable, valuable, valuable. And like I told you before, I keep sandwich baggies and everything. You never know when you might need them. Matter of fact, there's still some pieces in here from some drywall I did a little bit ago. Next to that, I actually have the charger that I was speaking of. This is a Ryobi charger. Self-explanatory. This is also the Ryobi set here. This is their set. It's probably about 20 bucks, but it comes with a lot of different things. It comes with woodworking, some woodworking bits, some metal bits, some plastic bits. Definitely worth it. Now, I will say Milwaukee does have better bits and blades. So I would personally, if I'm using a Sawzall or a reciprocating saw, I will go back to Milwaukee and buy one of those, because these tend to break a lot easier, okay? Because it is a Home Depot brand. A bucket. You never know when you might need a bucket. If you're working plumbing or doing something inside, if you have something you're going to pull out, a pipe, stick this underneath there. Make sure nothing leaks out, because it could damage the floor and any of that cabinetry that you have in there. But not just that, you know, if you don't have an oil pen, you got a bucket. This is like $1 at the Home Depot, man. It's their brand. Who cares? It's a I think it's a 5-quart bucket. No, excuse me. Yeah, it's a 5-quart bucket. Cheap, saves your life in a jiff. Okay, so in here, I actually moved some of this over so you guys can see it. This I actually recently got before I moved, because I moved. For some of you who do know that are watching my channel, I got this box, and a lot of that was because before I showed you that HDX brand stuff over here, I did have the my first tool set was just a toolbox I got for, of course, about 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago at this point, 4 years ago almost. Actually, no, 5 years ago. 5 years ago, and it was just a Home Depot brand box. It's just a fold open, plastic, had all the tools in there. But it just wasn't, it didn't really support my tools. It broke really easily, so I had to get rid of it. So I got this box. It was about 10, 15 bucks, and it has saved me. It has 2 openings on the top, 2 storage places. All my Home Depot brand bits I store in here. All my cutting blades, razor blades, vinyl blades I store in here. Precision screwdrivers, flatheads, I store in here, extra bolts on, well, there that goes. Hazards of working in the shop, right? A doorbell, Allen key, just a washer. This was actually off my Suburban, my Chevy Suburban I was working on, and I didn't need it anymore once I ended up getting a replacement. So this box opens up. It has a lock piece on here so you can keep someone from staying out of your box. It opens up, and the top piece, I keep a torpedo level, flathead screwdriver, and just a basic screwdriver, and then one where the pieces can come out. Allen keys, as I said, I keep tons of Allen keys, a flashlight, electrical tape. These are the basic things you're definitely going to need. Electrical tape will save you on a lot of automotive and in-house applications. If you're just trying to keep something in place, this will make sure, almost like painter's tape, it won't rip up your wall. So please get that. Level will save you. Even if you don't have a huge one, this will save you. This one, actually, believe it or not, if I can find something, it's magnetic. So it has a little strip on the back. If I had a piece of metal, I would show you. But long story short, it's magnetic. Get one. It's cheap. It's like 10 bucks at the Home Depot. Other things I have in here, and I'll set this down so you can see. This is a mixture of everything. We're in the home DIY section, so you gotta bear with me here. I got my roller. Got my mineral spirits for painting. I got paint splatter remover. It's Goof Off. Why? Because when you're painting, I guarantee you will splatter paint where you don't want it. This will save your life. It will get it off without harming the paint that's behind it. Whether you're doing drywall or really some other applications you can use this for, but really just drywall. Some painting applications you can use this for. If you want to tear the tape off, you can use this end and pull it and it'll snap real good. I have a metal one and a plastic one. Depending on what you're doing, metal and plastic are better. So if I'm on a wood surface, I'm probably going to use plastic because this metal will dig into that wood and damage it. So be in mind, that's why. Okay, that's the simple version of it. Painting woodwork. Any woodworker knows you need plastic wood. Okay, this is wood filler. All purpose, it's a natural color, like skin tone. You can use it interior, exterior. You got holes or you're doing some pocket jigs, that's a lifesaver. You fill it in, sand it down, you're done. A hammer. Basic tool you'll need for any application, automotive, inside wide, DIY, you're gonna need a hammer. Home Depot brand, baby, love them. This is a 14, actually I think this was it's a 14-in-1 tool. If you don't know, it's a painting tool, for short. But it's also a lot of other tools, because they didn't tell you that. Okay? You can use this as a putty knife. You get other pieces here, which are also, this one's to pull nails, different curves in place. This is to get the paint off your roller. Okay? There's a video for this. He explains it so well, but there is so much more to this tool than you realize. You can use that as a hammer. That's why you have this metal end right here. If you gotta drive a nail in, you use this to drive it in, the same as you would the back of this hammer. Okay, it's a great tool. This is a Blue Hawk brand, maybe 10 bucks. Cutters, needle nose pliers, already went over that. You can use it for a multitude of things. These are an assorted mini brush, wire brushes pretty much. But it's a mini brush set and there's different ones. There's a nylon, which is this one right here. This one's nylon. There's a brass and stainless steel. This is a stainless steel, this is the brass. Depending on what you're using, you use these brushes to clean it. Get rust off. Wire brush, self-explanatory to wire brush, getting rust off. This is just a bigger one. When I'm working on automotive applications or some other home applications, this is what I use to clean some rust or whatever I have on there. Mini clamps. These are great. Home Depot brand. They do tend to break easily, but they're definitely, if you're in a pinch, this will help you out. I got tons of these. Painters, squares, triangles. Really, they're actually triangles, so I don't call them squares, but they're triangles. You set these up, you set your little project on it, and you paint. As you can see, there's some blue paint on there. I got like 10 of these things in here. A paintbrush. You're going to paint, you're obviously going to need a paintbrush. Okay? So, I don't think I need to explain that one for you. Alright. Now, these are the painting triangles I was telling you about. I have an outlet cover here. It's just it's not meant to put outlet, it's just meant to cover it if you had an outlet hole. I keep it just in case if you need one. 3-inch flathead screws, I keep them. They're wood screws. I do a lot of wood projects. What do you say? And I always keep it so I remember which brand I got, which is the Everbuilt brand. It's a Home Depot. Extra wood block. Why would you need extra wood block? I use it for scrap wood, or if I need to prop a piece up, I have multiple different pieces that I use and I stack them up to make sure I have enough height, or if I want something to be above something, or if I'm trying to drive something in it and I just don't have enough room. This is what this is for. Lifesaver. I'm telling you. Different household applications. These are not tools. These are things that are just in here because I do a lot of different things with doors. You know, you need hitches or hinges for doors, yeah, or cabinetry. I got tons of them. This is another part of your putty set, putty knife. All those are. Here's your other mini clamps, and right here, another plier set, another adjustable wrench, because you can't, you're in a bathroom application, you need these, okay? But also, if you're in a bathroom application, you need this. About 10 to 15 bucks. This is Husky, okay? This is heavy duty cast iron, okay? Plumber's wrench. This has saved my life, even in automotive applications, because I needed something as heavy duty that wouldn't easily break if I was prying too much or bending, okay? Now there are, for automotive applications, Torx, and there's also breaker bars. Okay, well, I don't have a breaker bar as of yet, so you gotta manage. Alright, you know what I'm saying? Here, this is actually a hole stud detector. Some people really, they don't like it. It has a center punch on it. You press this button, and you can't really see it, but in the back of here, there's a little tiny piece that punches out, and it marks a hole. And I'll actually show you. This is the Ryobi brand. It does detect wires, and right here, you see it says center indication, okay? Right on the back here, there's this little hole. If you press this, you can see it pops out. Okay, that actually on your drywall will mark it for you. Now these are fidgety. One thing I have learned, Zircon are great stud detectors. Even if you're fidgety or if you're off the wall a bit, it will still find it. This has to be pushed onto the wall completely to detect the stud. So if you're in a pinch, this is great, but if your walls are really curvy, I would suggest getting a Zircon stud detector. Alright? This is a multi-use laser level. Okay, it's a Ryobi brand. It has your measuring device on here, so if you need a certain degree, you can do that. It's a 90-degree angle, so so basically a true right angle. Right here, you have two levels. You can use them. Levels are important, just like a torpedo level, but when you're trying to get a straight line across a drywall piece, if you're hanging cabinetry or something, this is a lifesaver. So you can actually take this off, and it comes off. It has suction cups, it has two little needles here that actually stick into the wall, leaving minimal damage to the wall. So you can still paint, or you can put some putty on there, or you can put some wood filler depending on what the application is. But this is a great item. And not only that, this actually comes off completely by itself. So if you want to hand hold it, you can do that. Great laser level. Great laser level. Some people might differ, but I think it was a great investment, for what it's worth. Paint opener. If you got a 14-in-1, you don't really need it, okay? But I always keep it just in case. Scissors, because you never know when you need scissors, okay? There's a lot of things. You can't open the back, I got scissors. Now with that being said, at the same time, I always carry a knife on me. So, if you're me, you only always need scissors. You just use a knife. You get used to it. Another putty knife, taping knife. It's plastic as well. That goes through here. A chisel. You never know when you need a chisel. This is an Irwin chisel. It's a 3/4. This is great if you're doing woodworking, okay? Box cutter, and at the end there's another mini clamp. That's the gist of this. Not a lot of people, they're like, oh, that's, this is the basics, okay? We're not getting anything too complicated. This is the baseline of what you will need, more or less, to do any automotive or DIY home stuff, okay? Including circular saws, which I have a circular saw, a reciprocating saw. You might need a router. Router's more fancy. You don't necessarily need a router, but a sander for sure. Or you get a sanding sponge or some grit paper and sand it with your hands. So hand sanding, that's fine. Palm sander. But I have those, and I would suggest getting them. If you have any questions about any of this, please, if you want me to go over something more specific, then I will. Alright, so we're back. Obviously outside of Home Depot. So I spent about 10-15 minutes inside of there, and they basically told me that their company policy or whatever was to not record inside store nationwide. So welcome back. We're on the main Home Depot website right now.
since we couldn't record in store, we're going to go ahead and record here and go online and kind of give you an idea of what the price would cost. So I've already gone and pulled up a tab here. Let it load for a second. Alright, so right here, these are just some common results of home toolkits you have. There's this Stanley one for $56, but I found some really good ones down here. They're really cheap. I found this Olympia one right here. It's an 89-piece DIY home toolkits tool set. That was about the price of mine. Mine, I want to say, was $10 to $20, and it generally has pretty much all the same stuff that mine has that you're going to really need. It looks like it has some Allen wrench sets right here, 2 different ones, some bit sets. It has a hammer, adjustable wrench here, pliers, cutters, a 12-foot tape measure, a 12 pitot level. You got some wire strippers here. It looks like a voltage tester right here. So that's a great kit to have for 20 bucks. There's an even better one right here. There's a Stalwart hand tool set. It's a 130 piece for 15 bucks. So, really, you can get a really good set, for your average DIY stuff, for a really good deal for just a couple bucks. And that's all you really need to get started. At least for your home renovation DIY subjects and things you like to do.
Alright, we're back in the shop. So I gave you all these tools. I did a big review, but the bottom line is all you need is a generic toolkit. So some of the things I did not hit on that I would definitely say are very important is a speed square, and not just a speed square, but a pry bar. A mini pry bar would be great. Pry bar like this is fantastic. Getting one like this would definitely help getting nails out, or if you're working with wood or pallet wood, it's going to help. Or a handheld crowbar, something like this, it's definitely going to help. Speed squares are great because they have multiple purposes and things they can be used for. Not only just measure, but you can line it up, you get a straight line, you can use it to cut with a straight line. So it's great for a lot of different tasks. But at the end of the day, like I said, you don't need all the expensive, crazy tools like I have. Get a speed square, it's like $5. Get a couple hammers, get your own little tool set, the little Home Depot brand one, it's orange and gray. It's all you need to start. You accumulate things over time, but all that matters is you put your heart, your soul, and your effort in it, and you give it your best. Okay? That's all that matters. Like I said, I didn't have any professional experience. All I did was, I read books. I got the Home Depot Do-It-Yourself book. I watched YouTube videos on how to do it, and now I'm doing it myself. So you can too. So never be discouraged and let someone tell you you can't. Like, subscribe, and thank you for watching. We'll see you soon.